My name is Lena Hart, and for most of my life, I was known as the failure of the family. It wasn't because I didn't try. I just never fit into the mold my relatives had built for success. My cousins were doctors, engineers, and lawyers, all proudly showing off their degrees at every family event, while I was the one who dropped out of college after my sophomore year. I had studied architecture, but tuition bills and part-time jobs made it impossible to keep up. When I left school, everyone treated me like I'd given up on life. My aunt whispered, "What a waste of potential," and my uncle shook his head saying, "She'll come crawling back for help in a year." Even my parents looked embarrassed when people asked what I was doing. I wanted to scream that I hadn't failed. I was just trying a different path. But words didn't matter. They only saw the surface. I started working odd jobs, from waitressing to drawing building sketches for small construction firms. Every paycheck went into one thing: my dream to design spaces that actually meant something. I studied online, took free design courses, and spent sleepless nights creating digital blueprints that no one ever saw. My friends drifted away, my parents stopped asking about my projects, and slowly, I became invisible. A few years later, I heard through a cousin that the family reunion was being planned at a fancy hotel in the city. I smiled, thinking it might be nice to see everyone again after so long. But then the group message arrived, and right there in black and white, I saw it. "We think it's best if Lena skips this one. It's a professional networking type of event." My hands froze. Networking type. That was their polite way of saying I didn't belong. No job title. No degree. No success story. Just failure. I didn't respond. I didn't cry, either. I just promised myself something that night. One day, they'd regret underestimating me. So, I doubled down on my work. I pitched my designs to anyone who'd listen, walked into small firms with my laptop, and offered free proposals just for the chance to prove myself. After months of rejection, one local developer finally gave me a chance. "Your design is bold," he said, scanning my sketches. "Unrealistic, maybe, but it has soul." That project became a small art gallery downtown. My first completed building. People started noticing my style, and word spread faster than I expected. Within 2 years, I launched my own architectural firm, Hotline Designs. I hired a tiny team and worked like my life depended on it, because it did. Every design, every project, every sleepless night carried a piece of that old pain I'd buried. Then one day, a real miracle happened. A major corporate client contacted us about designing their new headquarters, an eco-friendly office complex in the heart of the city. It was the biggest opportunity I'd ever imagined. I poured everything into it, leading the project from concept to ribbon cutting. When construction finished, the company insisted on naming the building after the lead designer's firm. I didn't even realize the impact of that until the unveiling ceremony. The building stood tall, wrapped in glass and steel, with clean lines reflecting the sky. And there, right above the entrance in silver letters, it read, "The Hotline Center." That same week, my mother called. Her voice was strangely cheerful. "Sweetheart, did you hear? The family reunion's being held at the new Business District Hotel, just a few blocks from that fancy new building everyone's talking about." I smiled quietly. "Yeah," I said. "I've heard." She hesitated. "You should come this time. Everyone's asking about you." Part of me wanted to refuse, to remind her of the message they'd sent years ago. But instead I said yes. I didn't tell them why. On the day of the reunion, I wore a simple black dress and walked into the hotel's lobby, directly across from the Hotline Center. My relatives were already there, laughing and sipping drinks. When they saw me, the room went silent for a moment. My aunt, the same one who'd called me a waste, smiled awkwardly. "Lena, you look different." My cousin added, "So, what have you been up to lately?" I turned toward the window, where the reflection of the Hotline Center gleamed in the afternoon sun. "You see that building over there?" I said, pointing. They all turned, squinting at the name above the doors. My uncle's jaw dropped first. "Wait, Hotline? That's yours. I nodded. Yeah. I designed it. The silence that followed was worth every lonely night I'd spent working. No lectures, no whispers, no pity. Just stunned faces trying to reconcile the person they'd rejected with the name shining on the skyline. My mother's eyes filled with tears. You did all that, Lena, she whispered. Without anyone's help. I smiled softly. Exactly. The rest of the evening, I didn't need to say much. Everyone suddenly wanted to talk to me, to ask questions, to take pictures with me. But I wasn't there for their validation. I was there to remind myself that failure isn't the end of a story. It's just the rough draft of success. When the night ended, I stepped outside, standing beneath my name glowing against the city lights. My reflection stared back at me in the glass, stronger, calmer, free. My family had once banned me from a reunion because I failed, but that night, as they stared at my name on the building, I realized the truth. I didn't need an invitation anymore. I'd built my own place in the world.